What is one thing you're going to do and practice after this exercise? Is there any big takeaways that you're actually going to implement within your own teams?
I'll go. I just realized I got to go back and do a little 1 and 3, do a little reset on why we're here and what we're doing, because the team changes and ebbs and flows and promotions and this and that, and it's I think it's something we have to just keep reiterating till we're blue in the face. And is it still true? Question: is it still true?
Yeah, great point. Anyone else? Big takeaways.
What are some creative, unique ways that you all are celebrating success with your teams, whether at GitLab or somewhere else?
Well, I'll say in pre-COVID days, especially depending on the distribution of the team, a lot of times we'd get together and just do local celebrations for those big events, right? And that would include significant others or whatever it needed to be to expand that celebration out. Something like club or spot bonuses or whatever. I mean, that's all great stuff, but when you're really, really winning, you want to spread it bigger. And it's interesting when you get to that 6 and 7 kind of area, it becomes more of a personal celebration, right? You want to share it as a small group, but with a larger community. And one of the ways you do that is tying in, more people that are significant to you. I think the other thing is from there, there's only a couple growth paths, right? So at that point, you do start looking at influence and how do I influence others, or you might be asked to influence others, right? As the next step in that journey. So as you're doing the celebration, sometimes it's interesting to get those inputs from the folks that aren't living in it every day, who've heard you talk about it, possibly for a couple years, getting to your point of success, and they're sharing stories, and you're learning more about yourself during one of those celebrations.
Well, thank you, Joel. Yeah, I love that.
I think this is an area that I'm trying to improve, but I think one thing that we've started to do is celebrate with our customers. So we've made it a really strong part of the EBR to stop and spend a fair amount of time highlighting our successes at all levels, like big successes, small successes, and really trying to put a time commitment on how much of an EBR we're going to spend on that, because that's really important. But I'm still trying to think of the ways that I can do it more consistently on just within the team.
One it's along that line that Patrick was just talking about. At another company, they have a tradition of having a cake cutting ceremony for all the successful projects once they're deployed and the customers signed off on the deliverables or the statement of work. Even in during the COVID times, they'll take photos of the cake cutting ceremony, even though no one's actually in the physical location, and just share those photos or the video, and it becomes a bit of a viral thing. So anything like that where it shows some interaction, I think, with the customer is positive.
That's a great one. We would send out swag. And we'd ask, Anthony, you brought this up, right? Asking them to evangelize for us. And that reminded me, my previous company, we were in the data center, and they would absolutely take pictures in the data center, replacing XYZ with our shiny new product with, let's say, a sticker or a t-shirt, right? And they would post it on LinkedIn.
We went for some higher end sort of rewards for top salespeople with their customers on big accounts. Like we did the Porsche driving experience in LA. It's not inexpensive, but I'm telling you what, we had CFOs, excuse me, CISOs, CTOs, CEOs that were on waiting lists to get into that. And it was so much fun because everybody was participating. You got to know people personally. And I guarantee you the next time that you called them, they picked up the phone.
Yeah, I had one that when I was a little early in my career, I think it was my first job out of college, I randomly got a call from our VP that just said, "Hey, I just want to let you know you've been," and was really specific with his feedback and just said, "Really, thank you for all the great work you've been doing." I saved that voicemail whenever I had a bad day. I'd go and pull it up and listen to it. And so I took that as a lesson. Like when I hear something from a team member, I always try to make an effort and go off and reach out to them and just in the moment catch them, be specific on why you appreciate it, what they do. It doesn't always have to be the big thing. And it's just making sure that you're constantly kind of acknowledging the work that people do. And we all can do it. You don't need to be at any level in the organization. It could be a peer or something else, just showing gratitude. I think it's an incredibly powerful tool.
Yeah, I love that, David.